Alright, so if you're wondering what you just saw, that was more proof that this video of Benjamin Netanyahu, also known as Daddy Nettie to many, it's pointing towards the fact that it's likely AI, because if you know anything about AI videos, is they routinely get the teeth wrong. So when you're generating the AI videos, when they open their mouth, they have like a set of teeth, but then once they close it, they have to generate a new set of teeth. And then oftentimes they will look different. It just struggles with that. It struggles with hands and fingers too. So that is why we saw in this clip at the 34-second mark that he had 6 fingers for 1 second. And then we're seeing that his teeth are constantly changing as well. So it is very likely that this entire clip of him giving his address to his nation was not even real. At this point, we're most likely going to learn that most of our world leaders the entire time have been lizard people.
Okay, since YouTube wants to shadow ban my last 3 wrestling videos, I'll give YouTube something to shadow ban. Okay, this video is gonna be about, you know, some updates and rumors about this war. Number one, y'all should have just gave Trump that Nobel Peace Prize. I think half of this stuff wouldn't be going on if y'all would have just gave Trump what he wanted. He wanted that Nobel Peace Prize. Y'all didn't give it to him. Boom, he starts giving way more money to Ukraine. He started giving way more money to Netanyahu. And now, another war. I mean, they don't want to call it a war. They want to call it like an operation or something. It's a war. And now we're going to have ground troops and a draft that's rumored to happen. All y'all had to do was give Trump that Nobel Peace Prize and he would have calmed down. He would have chilled out. Second, there's rumors Netanyahu's dead. Now, Iran was claiming that, you know, they killed Netanyahu like last week, you know, but so far it's been, well, today would make, you know, 48 hours you haven't seen or heard from Netanyahu. Now, Netanyahu loves clout. He loves getting on the internet. He loves talking. You know, I think he wakes up in the morning and, you know, gonna figure out what he want to tweet, what he want to do. The last time we saw Netanyahu, people were saying on a video he had like 6 fingers and it was AI. I watched it. I didn't see it, but some people, you know, doing freeze frames and all that, you know, it didn't look AI to me. I don't know. A lot of people claiming like, man, that's AI. AI is kind of, at this point, kind of hard to detect. Now, like I said, Iran actually like killed Netanyahu's brother and all that. Iran putting belt to ass. And honestly, I mean, come on now, like, if America wanted to take down Iran, they could just easily do it. A lot of people begs to differ. They think, you know, Iran is big. You know, this ain't no Afghanistan, it's no Iraq. Iran is big, but America has weapons that people ain't really seen yet. I mean, I've been hearing, you know, the United States have dark matter weapons, you know, antimatter weapons, you know. So if they wanted to, you know, that's the next phase of, you know, past nuclear, you know, antimatter weapons. And that was in like 13, there were rumors about that. America also have weather manipulation weapons. You know, look at what happened in Dubai. They flooded Dubai like 2 years ago just trying to bring some more rain to Dubai. If America wanted to, they could flood major cities in Iran. You know, we don't even have to drop a missile. Like, you know what devastation rain would do in, you know, certain cities in Iran if they just made it rain for like 2 weeks straight, non-stop rain. That would be worse than dropping a bomb. You know, instead of firebombing, just, you know, flood it. You know, Hurricane Katrina's everywhere. You know, except, you know, not a hurricane, but like the amount of water. You know, we can do stuff like that. Do they want that? Probably, you know, they don't want that, but so I don't get caught up in all the, oh, we're gonna lose the war, and nah. It's they want the war so they can make money off of it. But like I said, a lot of people saying Netanyahu's dead. Then you get the same fearmonger YouTuber saying, oh, they're gonna drop, you know, low yield tactical nukes. Why would they drop nukes when I can just have the US shoot 1,000 missiles that cost $1 million each, and then they have to order, you know, 20,000, 30,000 more missiles, and you know, the defense contractors get their money. You know, why would they want to end a war so fast when they can have 10 years of war, and that's 10 years of, you know, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, all these defense contractors, you know, making billions. They don't want to end it. You know, they don't want to essentially, just end the war in 3 weeks. Nah, that's not gonna work. Nah, that's not gonna make a lot of money. You know, but that's what they have. So we not gonna get. Will we get a false flag? Maybe. False flag might say, hey, they false flag something in America. That'll force the American people to get behind the war, which they won't. The American people not gonna fall for that. But they still think it's 01. So you get a false flag. We get ground troops in Iran. Now look how much ammunition America's gonna have to order. You know, if you have ground troops in Iran for a year, look how much ammunition you have to reorder. Look how much money that is. Look how much money the people that make the MREs are gonna get. Look how much money, you know, the helmet makers and the backpack makers, the boots, you know, manufacturers. Look how much money that is they're gonna need. Look how much money just everyone makes money off of war. Like that's the only reason, you know, they're doing this. Now, the only other thing that may stop this war is if Netanyahu is really dead. One, they're gonna throw in Netanyahu's body double. You know, the people are gonna figure it out, or You won't see or hear from Netanyahu, for about a month or two. Just things as if, oh, he said this, he said that. Publicly, you will not see him like that anymore. All of these talks and all that, I don't think they'll be able to pull it off. But if Netanyahu's really dead, and Iran wants the ground troops, honestly. They said they're ready for them. If Iran just says, okay, Netanyahu's gone, what are y'all gonna do now? If Israel backs off, because they killed Netanyahu, maybe that's the punch the bully needed. Maybe that bully needed to be punched in the face, like, hey, we could hit back too. But if they like, oh, forget Netanyahu, we're gonna put somebody else in there and continue this, maybe you get a nuke from Israel. Israel might launch it. Like, they might be crazy enough to actually launch one at Iran. But like I say, Israel is the size of New Jersey. Iran actually don't have to have a nuke to wipe Israel off the map. They just need to send buku bombs. It's the size of New Jersey. Iran is like half the size of the United States. So you have New Jersey. If you took California, Alaska, and Texas versus like New Jersey, who you think would win? It doesn't matter that Israel has the nuke. Okay, Israel shoots the nuke. Okay, you can shoot a few nukes at Iran. Iran is so big. They're still, it might stop some operations, but like I said, Iran is so big, you're gonna need NATO to stop Iran. You will literally have to have, France and all of these other countries join in, the UK and all that, to actually get a ground invasion in Iran. And they're not going to do it because all these other UN countries like, hey, y'all attacked them first, so y'all deal with that. America is going to have to bring out the weapons that they don't want to show. And trust, America got them. America gonna have to break out some of that alien tech they got. They gonna harp them. They gonna harp them earthquakes and all kind of stuff. They gonna get it. But if Netanyahu's dead, maybe that's the punch. Maybe that's the punch in the face the bully needed to kind of back off. Just maybe. I don't know. But, enter Netanyahu's body double. Netanyahu's body double just entered the chat. Peace.